We're live. Okay. Awesome.
Good morning. Hi, everybody. And see, we've got a few in the chat already. It does feel early today. I don't know whether it's just because it's a little bit doom and gloom out there. It feels earlier than normal. I'm normally up and bouncing around by now, but yeah, it definitely feels like a morning. Yeah. How is everybody? All right? Everybody fitting well?
Yeah, we've got Jodie, Charlotte, and Lynn in at the moment. So
excellent.
Morning, guys.
Oh, he's a dead keen. He's the one before me. Yeah, I've just seen all the chat there. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Morning, folks. Brilliant. So today we're going to look at, because it's a different topic altogether from last week, we're going to look at healthy eating and food labels today. So we're going to look at carbohydrates, protein and fat. First of all, what they are, because we talk about these, and they're called macronutrients, those three food groups. So if you hear people saying about macros, they're talking about the fat, the protein, the carbohydrates. So it's just like a buzzword that went around quite a few years back, macronutrients. And the people were like, what on earth is macronutrients? It's literally carbohydrates, protein and fat, and what percent you have of each one. So we're going to look at why we need them in the diet, how the body uses it, how much of it we should be trying to eat, because people talk about cutting out carbs or low-fat diets, and do you know what? The body needs all of it, but depending on your level of activity and things that you get involved with might differ how much one you have over the other. So we're going to look at what they are, why we need them, and how much of them we need. We're then going to look at what you might find on a food label. And we'll look at portion sizes as well. So food labels are an absolute minefield. You'll find that there's things that they're on there, but they're not in your face and they're a little bit hidden. So I'm going to show you what to look for, and hopefully you'll get a little bit of information from that. So that the things that we'll look at later is mainly cereal bars, because a lot of people have these instead of a breakfast, and the amount of sugar in there, it's not a good start of the day, basically. There's a lot more better choices you could make than grab a cereal bar. So we're going to pick just a couple to look at, just so I can show you again what to look for on the label and how to analyze the data that you can see. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do. So anybody else in the chat? Oh, Gary's there. We're kind of tuning in at the minute because he's going shopping. Look at you.
Fair enough, Will.
I miss the shopping days, not. I quite like not going to the shops, me. Well, I'm not a big shopper anyway.
Yeah.
Enjoy your shopping, Wib. And Gary's in the chat as well, so that's good.
Hello, Gary, ma'am.
More in there now, yeah. So, see if you were listening. So, Daniel, can you put the PowerPoint on?
I can do that, yes.
And go if you go to the second slide, because I've just waffled through the first one anyway. I've just told everybody what we're doing, so everybody's quite aware what we're doing. So, see if you were listening. Can you remember the 3 macronutrients? And I don't mind if you want to type these in the chat. So what do you call the 3 macronutrients in our diet? So one begins with a C, one begins with a P, and one begins with an F. I'll let you put in the chat.
I've heard as well, because we talked about macros being a buzzword and stuff. There was like this kind of buzz term that is like, if it fits your macros, was something that people always used to say.
Yeah.
A few times.
It's quite interesting. Like, I do believe if you look at your macros, you can lose weight steady as well. Like, you know, if you all want to lose weight, but it takes a lot of planning and a lot of prep.
Yeah.
When I was, because I used to do a lot of PT years back, and that is one thing I would look at. I would look at the percentage of Bob. Yeah. Oh, Charlotte's got it in there. Well done, Charlotte. Carbohydrate, protein, and fat. Nice. Well done. So I'll say it now, because I was like, can't say it. But the 3 macronutrients are carbohydrate, protein, and fat. And what I used to do when I was PTing, I would look at what percentage somebody would be eating, and I would try and keep it the same every day or reduce one of them, so your body gets used to what's coming in and what you need to burn off, and you'll find that your weight loss just goes steady, and your body isn't starved, knows what it's getting, so you're not up and down. If you have loads of carbs one day, loads of fat one day, and then you decide, oh, I'm going to go really, really high on the protein, cut those out, like your body just doesn't know what to do with all these food sources. So you've got to do it clever, and you've got to do it bit at a time.
Yeah.
But look at all three groups, because all three, again, what we said before, depend on your activity level. Depends how much carbohydrate you need in your diet.
Yeah.
It also depends what type of carbs you need in your diet. So we'll look at that when we look at carbohydrate. Protein. If you do a lot of like a manual job where you're using your muscles a lot and you're lifting a lot of things, you're probably going to need a little bit more protein in your diet, because protein does repair the muscles. It does like repair, maintain, and it grows those muscles as well. But you need that in your diet for growth and repair. So if you're doing quite a manual job, yes, you need the carbs in for your energy, but your protein's going to be in there to maintain your muscle mass. And fat is really important in the diet. Obviously, there's good fats and bad fats. The bad fat's going to be in your pie crust on the top bit. I can't really get it. There's a little bit of butter in there. So fat, you need it to keep the body warm.
Yeah.
It also stores key nutrients as well. There's key vitamins in fat.
Yeah.
Vitamin D, vitamin E, K, and A, D, E, and K. All those vitamins are stored in your fat cells, so your body will just take them as and when it needs them.
Wow.
So it's really
important.
Not
all bad, yeah. So it's not like
it keeps us warm. It insulates the body, keeps the temperature of your body right.
I've got
there's loads of you need it.
Yeah. It's
you got a question?
I was good. I was just thinking, like one of my mates, like his friend, like cut themselves, like not like on purpose, but they went down a slide and they like slid on a glass bottle, and he said that like it cut his body a bit, but like fat actually fell out, like they actually saw like what the fat looked like. It's a bit gruesome, I know, but you can actually see that. It's like you can actually see it, in your body.
It's white. Have you ever? Well, yellow. It's yellow. Have you ever watched the programs where they do operations and things?
Yeah.
Once you get past the skin bit, I know this is nothing to do with the lesson. I am sidetracking, but once you get past the skin bit where the blood vessels is, there's no blood in there. It's like, unless you hit an organ, like you wouldn't get any blood coming out of the fat cells or anything like that. And the organs, if the whole. It's like textbook. It's interesting, really. I remember I was doing my work experience at a vet's, and there was a dog in there, and it ate an acorn, so it was vomiting and it wasn't passing anything. So we knew something was stuck in there. So they had to open the dog up, and I could not believe how perfect all of the organs were.
Yeah.
They were exactly like you would see. You could name all of the organs if you knew what they were in a textbook, because they were exactly the same shape. Fascinating.
It is.
But you could see this little acorn stuck in its intestine.
Wow.
So once they removed that, dog was fine. Yeah.
That's wild,
I just find the human body fascinating. Like
I do, and I just think as well, because I don't know, like when you have fat, you don't really think about it like having a consistency or a texture, but it's like you say, it actually has, like it looks like something, on the inside. Yeah. It's like it's white, like you said, so it's pretty crazy. Like
a yellow colour, but you do need it. You need, obviously, too much around all your vital organs isn't healthy, isn't a good thing. But you do still need so much fat on the body. So a lady, even someone who's really, really fit, their body fat would still be over 18%, which is nearly 20% of the body. So if you think of it that way, like you can appear really, really lean and fit, and I'm talking like not athlete. I mean, athletes are a different level altogether, but someone who actively trains, looks after themselves, eats well, they would probably still store 18 to 20% body fat.
Yeah.
You can still be healthy at 30, 20, 25 to 30. You can still be quite healthy that's a woman, and a guy tends to be 10% less, because naturally women gain a lot more fat just due to when we have the estrogen in our body, don't we, whereas guys have testosterone, so
it's like
we have a little bit more for childbirth and things like that. Yeah,
it's like people think as well, like when they see a bodybuilder or even an actor, and if they're at like 5% fat because they've like cut totally down, they've dehydrated themselves for like 2 or 3 days, those people are only like that for like that day, and then after that they'll load up, and like on their off season they probably, like a lot of bodybuilders swell right up, and they would probably die if they maintained that kind of
you couldn't
you know what I mean?
do it. Your body's not meant to be in that like state, is it? That's not meant to be like that. Exactly. But yeah, you're right. If people are doing like a competition or anything, they can spend 2 or 3 weeks leading up to that one day dehydrating themselves, cutting out certain stuff that they're not like. It's very intense, and I don't think it's a happy place for them at that time. They just want the competition out of the way, really, once it gets to that stage. I mean, amazing. I've got to say, like, I just think fair play. Like, you can put yourself. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put myself through that. I like me food too much. I love cooking, and I do like me food. So
yeah, like
I'm all for a nice happy balance. You know, like a little bit of everything. I think doesn't harm you.
Fish and a rice cake every day. Like
I know, fish and rice cake. No.
Yeah.
Hey, I know that was a bad video, wasn't it? We'll have to show you that maybe at some point. But, fish and rice cake guy, he loves that, doesn't he?
It's like what you're saying though as well. Like maybe like that guy may have been like, because obviously there's protein and they might be getting a certain amount of carbs or whatever. But like, there's obviously, you could still, if you worked out your macros like what you said, you could have like you could eat really nice food, but as long as you worked out exactly what you need, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So however many macros he was getting in those meals, he could easily substitute that with just nice food, you know what I mean? But as long as it equaled out at the same amount of macros. So
yeah, and it's over the full day. When people talk about how much carbs you need, how much protein you need, how much fat, it's over the whole day. It's not every meal. So every meal doesn't have to be dead strict. Like you could have like cereal or something for breakfast. You could have Weetabix or something and say milk. So that would maybe tick higher on your carbs, but you're not really, you're getting a bit of protein through your milk, but you're not getting high on the other groups so much. So you might want to then look at your other meals throughout the day and see which one you could maybe reduce and bulk up on the other, and just like balance things out. So yeah, it's an interesting one, but obviously if anyone has any questions about it as we go, please stick them in the chat, because it's a minefield, and I think unless you ask the questions, you'll always have the questions. So ask them, and if I can't answer them, I'll get back to you at another time. So what we'll do now, we'll move on to carbohydrates. What are all the vitamins and what are they good for, Mel? Is it a hard question? No, there's, so we mentioned before, you've got vitamin A, D, E, and K, and they're called fat-soluble vitamins, and you can get them through you can get them through fish, a lot of dark green veg, things like that. But you don't have to have them every single day. If you have them like every other or 3 or 4 times a week, like fish, they'll tell you to eat salmon or an oily fish twice a week. And the reason for that is your body can store the vitamins out of it. So because it's stored in your fat, your body will use it as and when it needs it in small amounts. So your body can store it and then use it as and when. It's mainly your B and C vitamins that you need every single day through your diet. So, vitamin C, orange juice. There's a lot of bright veg have things like that in. And B, vitamin B, all your veg. Like look at what's in there. And nuts as well are pretty good at give you different sources. So no, it wasn't a difficult question. But you know what? Have a little look yourself online and see what would tick each of those boxes. See where you would get your vitamins from, and see if there's anything that you are missing completely in your diet. And if you are, maybe get some supplements for that particular vitamin. Won't do you any harm.
Definitely.
You can get vitamins cheap as well. They're not expensive.
Yeah, if you've got savers, you can buy like a bunch of like.
Or even a supermarket brand, like they're all the same. They've all got the stuff in that we need.
It's just like, yeah.
So no, they're all good for you. And what they actually do to the body, so that was your other bit, wasn't it? So what are they good for? So they replenish all the cells in your body. So your hair, your teeth, your nails, all of your cells, like the dial, like, so they need replenishing. They need to have a bit of life put in them all the time. Keeps your organs functioning right, your brain ticking over. They do all the things that you don't think about, but you do need it in your diet to function better. It'll give you more energy as well if your cells feel alive. It sounds a bit cheesy, but
no, it makes sense.
Yeah, are we dancing, Daniel? We're alive. We've had our Weetabix. I've had my Weetabix actually. I have had Weetabix.
You've actually had Weetabix.
I have had Weetabix. Right, we'll move on to carbohydrates. So that's slide number 3. So carbohydrates, there's a lot of different carbs, all right? So the ones that you probably would relate to and know about are bread, pasta, potatoes, rice. I put pasta in twice, that's why I'm getting confused. Cereal, porridge. They're quite what you would call like a starchy carb, all right? So they're going to give you a lot of energy, but it'll go over a long period of time. Same with vegetables, all right? Vegetables are a carbohydrate. And not many people realise that veg would come under carbs because everybody sees carbs as a bad thing. The difference with veg, the difference with veg is though you wouldn't get the same amount of calories.
Yeah.
Like if you had a bowl of veg to a bowl of pasta, the calories are completely different. Like you're looking at a fifth of the calorie content.
I think like
so that's the different, and there's a lot more goodness in there in the veg.
So I think if like someone had like some chips, right? But so say you had a bowl of just broccoli, like that's maybe a bit plain, but like if you had it was seasoned, it was like garlic broccoli, it was delicious. if you ate that full bowl, you'd probably be pretty full just because you ate so much, but there's like hardly any calories in that. There's not many. And then versus if you had like a plate of chips, you might still be quite hungry, but you're eating so many more calories. I think that's kind of crazy that
it's more palatable, isn't it? The chips, I suppose, like whereas the broccoli, like you would eat what your body needed and then you would probably leave.
Yeah.
And you would not it's easy to overeat on the bad food and the food that
which sucks.
Then it does suck.
Why?
It does. No, you're right. Notice fruits on there as well, fruits on the list. So the reason fruits on there is it's still a carbohydrate. However, you'll know fruit has a lot of sugar in it, so it's more of a simple carbohydrate. So it gets into your bloodstream quicker. But having fruit, a piece of fruit, is better than having like a smoothie or something like that because you're getting the fibre with a bit of fruit.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like on some juices you don't get the fibre, right? Like or it's not as much.
But it's just condensed, so you're eating a lot more, you're drinking a lot more, and you're not even realising how much of it that you're consuming calorie-wise and sugar. It's the sugar, and so bang, you get this really quick burst of energy, quick burst of sugar, and then all of a sudden you get this dip where you need more to pick you back up. So it's one of them. Like it's good. They're good for you because again, the vitamins, the minerals, the fibres in there, but don't eat too much of it. I would still say try and get a couple pieces of fruit in a day if you can, but don't have like I used to work. I can't remember where it was now. In an office somewhere, and some of the ladies that's what they would have for their dinner, like or their it was a massive bowl of fruit, and I'm thinking
a lot of sugar,
a lot. Like I know it's good for you, but they were always hungry like mid-afternoon, and then that's when the cake would come out. So they're having this really, really healthy dinner. Or they thought, but what it was doing to their sugar is making them crave.
It's a good point, actually.
Hungry like 2 hours later. So you got to get the balance right.
Yeah.
So there's 2 different types of carbs. So we've just touched on them there. So there's what you call a simple carb. So that could be anything sugary, could be banana, could be jam, could be like biscuits, cakes, sweets, anything like that. And the structure that's in there is quite simple. So what that means is your body can break it down quick. So you're going to get that instant hit of energy. So think about your energy drinks, any glucose drinks that you might have, any sport drinks. You're going to get that instant boost of energy straight in, because your body can break those little simple structures down quick. Whereas your complex carbohydrates, so these are what you call your starchy carbs. So your bread, your pasta, your potato, your rice, they're what you call like a complex carb, because they'll keep you fuller for longer. And the reason for that is the chain, the structure that's it's made up of. It takes the body longer to break that down. So you're not going to get that instant hit, but you get it gradually as it breaks down. So there's two different types. If you were training for a marathon, right, or a long distance event, you would need a lot of complex carbs the day before, leading up to the event, right? So your body can store carbohydrates in your muscles, and use that stored energy throughout the race, all right? So the idea behind the complex carbs is to get the body to maximum fuel before you go. You don't want to go on a long car journey with just quarter of a tank.
Yeah,
all right? You probably fill it right up, all right? So that's what you're doing with your carbs. You're filling the body up with the energy that it might need to get you right round the event that you've signed up for.
Yeah, and then I think go on. You're about to say you're about to say what I was going to say.
Yeah, on the morning of the event though. So you've already got all your muscles full with all these carbs on the morning of the event. That's why you might have a banana or something, or a cereal bar or something like a simple carb. You might have something a bit sugary. That'll give you that little boost before you start. So you've really topped your energy up as maximum level as possible to get you around this event. So that's how that kind of works. But simple carbs, unless you are going to go into training and do stuff after, I would be careful of how much of those that you eat. Try and stick with your complex carbs. A piece of fruit obviously is a simple carb, but just be careful of when you have that during the day. I wouldn't be sitting and having it for breakfast. Maybe middle of the morning's a good time, because then when you are hungry an hour or so later, it's probably lunchtime anyway, so you'll be satisfied with your food later. It might also be good like as a dessert. So if you think about your meal overall, so you might have quite a balanced meal, a little bit of fruit in there. It's not going to shoot up because it's still classed as the same meal. So overall sugar content's brought down by the other things in that meal.
Yeah, I'd heard stuff about that before, where like it's like it's something I'd never ever even thought before, but it's when you eat stuff at the same time, your body kind of ingests it in a different way as if you're having that as like separate things. The way it metabolizes in your body. So I think that's so crazy, and it's
the GI diet's quite a good one to look at, and I do tell people to have a little look at this. On the GI scale, which is like a glucose index scale, so it compares everything with glucose. So glucose is 100 on the scale of 0 to 100. So glucose is your maximum way of getting energy into the body, right, into your bloodstream. So by taking a shot of glucose, and they normally give them out on marathons and long distance events.
Yeah.
It's just a little gel packet.
Yeah, I've seen
It's just pure sugar really, and it just gives you that instant energy boost so people can carry on with the event. So everything in the GI table, every food item is compared with glucose and given a number. So the higher the number, the quicker it gets into your bloodstream. Now, a jacket potato, which a lot of people think are healthy, and they can be if they ate with the right thing, is 98 on the GI scale. It's really, really, really high. And but if you had that with, say, tuna, which is quite low down, I think tuna's like maybe 30 something. If you had that, if you think about your meal then, it becomes maybe something around about the 50 mark.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be right up there. If you just had it with, say, butter or something like else high up there, cheese, it's going to stay high. You'll have your jack of potato, you'll feel satisfied there and then. Give it an hour, you're going to be hungry again. But if you had it with, say, beans, or if you had it with, as I say, tuna, I'm trying to think what else I would put on a jack of potato. But even a bit of chicken or something, you know.
Tuna, beans, cheese, butter.
Your body looks at the whole meal, not just items.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Balances out your whole meal. So that is definitely one worth looking at.
I think.
What is Gary on about there? Sorry, Daniel, so what were you going to say? We'll go back to Gary's comment in a minute.
We're just talking about, obviously, carbs, and it just reminded me, and obviously long distance athletes, and it reminded me of when we looked at Michael Phelps's diet in last week's.
Oh God, yes.
Last week's virtual wellbeing session, and obviously like he would eat like a full bag of pasta a day, right? But obviously because he's
two bags of pasta. Wow. one at dinner time, one at tea time, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like 12,000 calories, and obviously if you're
crazy.
I know, if you wanted to, like, if you're literally working out non-stop for 8 hours a day, then it's like a special case, right? Obviously because you need the calories to get the energy. So
yeah, I wouldn't recommend that you eat that much.
No. I think if you didn't work out as much as he did and you ate that much, I think you wouldn't have a very good time at all, you know.
No, it'd be difficult.
Oh my God, yeah. That's the thing. I couldn't eat that much if you paid
I couldn't eat that much and then train. I could have a go at eating that much. I'll be honest. I would try.
I couldn't, like, the thought of eating. Where
did I go? It was in America. We went. We got this. Oh, it was somewhere where we jump in this old taxi. It was like an organised event. There was 4 of us, and what was he called? I can't remember the name of the company, but what they did is they took you around all these little bespoke eateries and let you try all these different things. Wow. So we went on this little tasting mission. Yeah. For about 5 hours. And we had so much. We must have ate. Like, I had to open my jeans and everything. And every time I got back in the taxi, I thought, I'm going to be sick here. But and then they give you something sweet, and then they give you some. Oh my God, it was amazing. But that was me probably eating about 6,000 calories.
Was it in New York? Was that New York?
It was in New York. New York. I think we tried we didn't have full burgers, but we would have like a half a burger or a quarter of a burger. But when you're having bits like that, oh my stomach, and I don't think I had anything to eat the next day. I think I literally had like something middle of the day, and then that was it.
I can imagine. That's so funny.
Yeah. It was like a challenge. It was like a challenge, but it was a way of going around all these little bespoke eateries that you wouldn't necessarily get to as a tourist. Of course. The taxi, they were in little little towns and places that you wouldn't be able to get to easily, like more of a local cuisine.
I love stuff like that.
But yeah, we had pretty much everything, but it wasn't comfortable. I couldn't imagine then like eating all of that and then jumping in the swimming pool and doing a few miles.
You know when you did an ultra marathon, because I remember you've done ultra marathon before. Yeah. What did you eat? What did you eat then? Like, what was?
So the ultra marathon, it was meant to be 40 miles, and it was the first year that they'd ran the event, and they measured it wrong, and it ended up being 48 miles. So,
oh my goodness, that's so
and we got told this news at about 37.5 miles. So in my brain, I'm thinking I've got 2 miles and a bit to go.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing all right, and then the breaking news was, really sorry, we've measured this wrong. Another 8 miles. Why? I just felt like getting picked up at night there and then. But I completed it. I did the 48. I did do it. But for me, I just had a lot of pasta and like carbohydrate dishes the day before. In fact, a couple of days before. I wouldn't do what some people do and have like a full week of it, because I just don't think your body needs a full week leading into it. Obviously, I've always had carbs in my diet, so my body doesn't reject certain food groups, something like that. But yeah, I had a lot of carbs the day before. On the morning of any run, I have to have a bagel, and I don't know why that is. But
good luck song.
I don't know. I think you just get into like these silly habits, and it's like a mental thing where you just think, right, that's what I need. That's going to get me right. That's going to make me perform at my best. Like,
Sure.
and if I don't have it, I think I've got this like negative thought straight away. So I'll have a bagel, just a bit of butter on. I won't, and sometimes if I've got smoked salmon in the house, I like a little bit of smoked salmon on me bagel. But normally it's just a plain bagel. I'll then have, like, to the start of the race, I'll take a banana, and I normally have it's the only time I'll eat a cereal bar in the morning.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll have like a cereal bar with this, just again get that simple carbs in. So
Definitely.
And demi sports bra. I always have Haribo jellies.
Nice.
Secret stash. Nobody knows where they are. Nobody gets them. Just me.
Give you that sugar when you're like pushing on. Makes sense,
but the ultra marathon, unlike marathons, they're normally quite small events where there's not a lot of runners doing it, and there's a lot of checkpoints. So every maybe 7 or 8 miles, there's somebody with a car who can give you more water. We had cups of tea, cups of coffee. We had little bits. It wasn't like a big meal, but we might have like a quarter of a sandwich, a little bit of flapjack. There was little bits of food all the way around the course, like proper food, and you would have proper breaks as well. Good. You would maybe stop for like 5 or 10 minutes, hydrate, get a little bit of fuel, and then on your way again. So it was really, really tough. And I'll be honest, that's too far distance for me. I didn't enjoy it. Once I got past 30 miles, it was a slog.
I mean,
I've done 11 marathons now.
I was going to say, most people...
But like, I would do another marathon, but not all of them.
I want to do a marathon. I did one half marathon. I did the Great North Run, and I would love to do a marathon. And even if, I go at like a snail's pace, but like just to say that I've done it, you know what I mean? But I want it. That's like on my bucket list. It's an
amazing experience. Yeah. It is. It's so like emotional when you finish it. It's good.
I'd love to do it.
I could cry now thinking about it. I could cry now. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. I mean,
so yeah. But it's amazing. And you know what? If any of you have any goals like that, let us know. Like, you're the only barrier to any goal that you set yourself. So if there's something that you want to do, it's just about making those little steps towards your goal. Yeah. And do you know what? Your goal for some people, it might be a year away. For some, it could be 10 years away. But set yourself those long-term goals and start working towards them. And you know what? It'll be the best feeling ever if you achieve that goal at some point in your life. Like, you've got to just push yourself and do it. Weeb said he doesn't want to do a marathon. And what did Gary say? Medium-sized ball of oats keep me full. So Gary has porridge oats for breakfast, and that keeps. I've seen your portion size there, Gary, as well, and it's perfect really for breakfast. And it does keep them full. So the main reason we need carbs in the diet is it's your main source of energy. All right, so it's really important that we get that in there. And I don't think we've mentioned on this course, but on one of the other courses, your brain solely relies on carbohydrates. So unless you get carbs in your diet, your brain won't function correctly. Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll move on to the next slide. So I think we've covered carbs in quite a bit of detail.
Yeah.
So protein. So protein seems to be a bit of a buzzword with people who tend to work out and keep fit and things like that. The thing is with protein, it doesn't give you the energy that carbs and fat would give you, but it does fill you up, and it's quite low on the GI, so you've got that. But it fills you up better. So if you try and have protein in every single meal, you'll feel more satisfied with every single meal that you eat. So what is protein classed as? So what food is it? So fish, any form of meat, eggs, beans, pulses, and a lot of dairy products as well. You also get protein from nuts as well. There's a lot of protein in nuts that you eat. Half and half with fat, but not a bad fat. So it's not a bad snack. If you had, say, like, where's your box there, Daniel? Where's your cashews?
Just looking at it there.
Yeah, so Daniel's got a huge box of cashews and normally lasts about 2 days. No, you get a bit longer than 2 days out of it, but like a handful of those is not a bad snack at all. And it just ticks over your hunger period and it'll keep you going. So all of those different food groups that I've mentioned, so all those different, they're all classed as protein in the diet, right? So that's the type of thing that you need to try and have in each of your meals. Now, if you're vegetarian, obviously beans and pulses are fine. And there's have you heard of tofu? That's quite a good protein option for vegetarians. And what I've noticed now, because I was veggie years ago, like I was vegetarian for 12 years, quite a long time ago. I've not been veggie now for, I bet it's about 10 years now, but there wasn't the corn options that there is today as well. Like there's a lot more options for vegetarians and vegans even. So it's a lot easier to get your protein in and get different sources if you just look at like all of your different corn. I mean, it's not, you wouldn't get the same percentage of protein in corn mince as you would like real mince, like beef mince, but it's still quite high for being because it's made out of soya, isn't it? So it's still quite high for protein. So if you are vegetarian, you still need to get protein in your diet. There's a lot more ways you can do that now.
For sure.
So I think I mentioned before, we need protein in the diet for growth, repair, and maintenance. And do you know what? Like, if you get that if you get it in every meal, it's probably just the right amount for your body to cope with. If you sat down and had a full chicken for one meal, like your body can only cope with about 30 grams to 40 grams, depending on how like tall you are, body weight, things like that, muscle mass. But your body can only absorb 30 to 40 grams of protein in one sitting. You cannot absorb 200 grams. Like it just doesn't work that way. Like your body can only, it'll use what it needs. The rest is wasted.
Yeah.
So I would try and have it spread out throughout the day. And this is the reason bodybuilders have like 7 meals.
Yeah.
It's so they can give the body 7 opportunities to get that amount of protein all the way through the day, because they want to bulk up and they want to be bigger. So yeah, it's interesting.
Definitely is.
But if you have too much protein in your diet, there's a lot of health complications as well. So I'll not go into that today, but it might be something that you want to look up later. So you can't eat too much protein. Wib's off shopping. Lynn's just started listening because she's had a block thing. Oh, please, I hope you've gotten that sorted, Lynn.
Yeah, Sam.
And Jodie's going to tell her mum off because when she goes running, she takes her dextro tablets. Tell her off. Jodie, that's naughty. You've got a naughty mum. Good that she goes out running though. All right, if we move on to fat now. So what food is classed as fat? So fat can be butter, oil. I've put nuts in there as well, but obviously there's a lot of fat in all of your like confectionery, you know, all your chocolate and things like that. So you need to be careful on how much of that you eat, because that's not the good fat.
Yeah.
Oil isn't bad for you. If you had oil over a salad, or if you put oil into certain dishes and you didn't heat up to a certain temperature, oil is not a bad fat. It's when you cook in it and fry in it and it goes to a temperature above, I think it's 220.
Yeah.
Once it goes up and over that threshold, then the consistency changes and it becomes like trans fats.
Oh wow.
Like
just like obviously you've got like quite a few different oils as well. Obviously you've got like vegetable oil, olive oil, sesame oil, and coconut oil as well, right? So it's like they're like kind of and they're a bit different as well. Like
coconut's higher again. Like coconut, I can't remember how high that is, but I'm sure coconut oil is higher again in like harder to change the consistency and the bonds and that.
Do you want something crazy about coconut oil, right? I had I bought.
It's really good for you.
Yeah, it is, and you can people put it on the skin and stuff. But I bought some because I was like, I heard that it was like super healthy, and I was like, right, I'll start having this with my food. Like this was a while ago, and it was like it was like thick. It was like just white. It looked like just like kind of like it was like a kind of thick texture, and it was like a summer's day.
Mm-hmm.
And then I looked in the cupboard again, and it had completely
Liquid.
it completely melted. So it was just like a liquid, and I was like, whoa! I couldn't believe that like it was
Well, I melt mine in the microwave,
right.
and I'll put it on my hair,
Wow.
and I'll leave. Like, do you know, if I've got a day where I know I'm not doing anything, no one's going to see us. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty good in lockdown. I've done it a couple of times in lockdown. But if you put coconut oil on your hair, it acts as a deep conditioning treatment, and you know what, your hair feels amazing. Like, you've got to wash it thoroughly after, because it takes a while to get out. You might have to do like, it's probably until the second time you wash it and dry it that you feel like your hair's gone back to normal. But it's just so good for your hair, and you know what, I think it helps your hair grow.
Wow.
But it's a bit on the expensive side, isn't it? But you don't need a lot, and it does last a long time.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's a bit of an investment. But yeah, you can put it on your skin, on your hair. I usually if I'm doing scrambled eggs, I'll do my eggs in it, and your eggs go so creamy. It's amazing.
I've done that before, and it's delicious, and it adds a tiny bit of flavor. So it's lovely.
Definitely want to try. So we need fats in the diet because it's a secondary source of energy. So it still gives you energy. Obviously, carbs is going to be your main source of energy, but fat, secondary source. And it helps you store energy in the body and insulates against the cold. So there's like I've said before, it stores vitamins as well, right? So that's another reason. It also protects your organs. If you think we've got this layer of skin and fat around everywhere to protect us as well.
Yeah.
So you definitely need it in your diet. There's a lot more benefits than people realise. So I'll move on to the next one, because this is quite an interesting one. So this is, how much do we need to eat each day? Now this is just for Joe blogs, right? This is just somebody who's maybe goes out for a few walks a week, right? Nothing too strenuous, just so the carbs, so I've said 1 gram of carbohydrate equates to 4 calories. All right, so 1 gram, so if you look on the back of any food labels, 1 gram of carbs gives you 4 calories of energy. And what I've said is roughly you should be trying to aim for about 200 grams of carbohydrate each day. Now that is just a rough figure. If you eat that and you think, oh god, I'm like starving, like my body needs more, up it. Do you know, like just be aware of what you've had and keep it consistent. That's what I would say. But if you look at what we said before about like rice, pasta, potato, if you had those type of foods 2 or 3 times throughout the day, like bread as well, you'll notice your carbohydrate calories will go straight up. Like you'll hit that no problem.
Yeah.
You'll hit that dead quick. I mean, 1 slice of bread, I believe, is about 25.
Wow.
So if you had a couple of slices of bread, there's 50. Your porridge, Gary, I'm not sure if you want to have a quick look at it, but I'm sure that would be around about that as well. So straight away, bang, you're hitting your carbs. Just, it's an easier food group to hit. Like that's the type of, like, I think I could eat bread in every meal if I allowed myself to. Yeah, I'd have like toast in the morning, a sandwich at lunchtime, or a bun, and then I might have like a share bread with me pasta on the night. So I could easily eat a lot of bread. Bread's definitely a downside for me. I could eat it.
Awesome.
So 1 gram of carbs is 4 calories. 1 gram of protein is also 4 calories. So what I've said on the protein is aim to eat between 20 and 30 grams per meal. And the reason for that is that's all your body can cope with. Some people can cope with a little bit more, but if you're starting to eat a really, really high protein diet, it's not doing your body any good. You put it under like unnecessary stress, really.
Yeah.
You're definitely not getting any energy from that meal as well. So you need to get, your calories from elsewhere. But yeah, 20 to 30, maybe up to 40 max, depending on like men can eat a little bit more than a woman. So that would equate to about 60 to 80 grams a day. which is about 240 to 320 calories. Now, another rule of thumb is if you know your weight in kilograms, so just say if you got on the scales and you were like 80 kilograms, you should be trying to eat 80 grams of protein. That's another way to do it. So
Makes
rather
sense.
than look at, and then you would break it into 3 meals. So look at what you weigh. So maybe get on the scales at some point today. Look at what you weigh and look at the kilograms. You need it in kilograms, and those kilograms, whatever you are, that's what you should be trying to eat in grams per day for your protein intake. Now, if you're really, really active and you do a lot of strength training, you can go up to about 1.6, 1.8 of that. So you would eat a lot more protein, but then what you would find is you would have a lot more meals throughout the day. You wouldn't just be having your 3 main meals. You'd be having a lot of snacks in there. Or you might just have 5 meals and a couple of snacks, but a lot of it will be based around the protein to get that in there. But have a little look at it. But yeah, that's another way to do it anyway. You could weigh yourself, find out what you weigh in kilograms, and then look at what grams of protein you should be trying to get in your diet. For fat, this is the only one. So 1 gram of fat is more than double the calories of the other two. So 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So if you've got a high fat diet, your calories are going to be quite high. So I put on there, I've done it wrong, haven't I? That shouldn't be per meal, that should be per day.
Right, okay, got you.
Delete that.
Yeah.
I was looking thinking, what have you told people there? 35 to 40 grams, and this is over the full day, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. That's over the full day, not every meal. Christ. What am I telling you? What information is this? So about 40 grams of fat over the whole day would equate to about 360 calories. But if you look at certain foods that you know are high in fat, that's an easy target to gain to meet. So something like, I think Charlotte mentioned it yesterday when she was on the Staying Connected chat about MyFitnessPal.
Yes, she said she'd been using that, yeah.
Yeah, it's an amazing app, and there's a free version as well. So it might be worth, if you have got a phone where you can get an app on your phone, have a little look at MyFitnessPal, and you can log all of your calories. You can log what carbs you eat, what protein you eat, and what fat, and it'll even scan barcodes. So if you're having like half a tin of beans, you can scan the beans, put in half a tin or a full tin or whatever you've had, and it'll automatically take that off each of those food groups, so you know what you've got left for the rest of the day.
For sure.
It's really good. What I used to do, because I mean I do use this quite a bit as well. If I know what I'm having for my tea that night, I'll put my tea in already, so I know that's what I'm having. That's already took up those calories and that percent from each of those groups. So I know my breakfast and my dinner need to fit those. Now, I'm more of a breakfast girl than a dinner girl. I would rather have my breakfast and my tea than a decent dinner during the day, because I always look forward to my tea on the night. So I would normally have my breakfast, plan my tea, and then see what I've got left. And sometimes, I don't know if you remember, Daniel, but sometimes I'll come in the office and I've got loads of carrots, loads of hummus.
Yeah.
I might have like peppers. I might have a bit of fruit. Like I've just got random stuff to make up my middle bit, if you like. And you know what? If you get hungry on that, drink plenty of water, and it feels. Sometimes you're just thirsty. You're not hungry.
Yeah.
But that's one way to do it. But have a little look. Definitely, that app's amazing, honestly. And if it just helps keep you right until you get into a routine, you'll probably end up eating the same thing for certain meals anyway. It's just making those little changes where it fits those macros.
True, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Gary, we're having a chat before, and we were talking about turkey rashers instead of bacon, and what a difference that makes to your fat, overall fat for the day. Your protein's still high, it's dead lean because it's a turkey rasher, and it does taste a bit like bacon. That's why you can get away with it.
You're the nice, I've had them before, yeah.
Yeah, it's fab, but there's just different ways that you can, you know what, like I don't mind any single one of you in this chat messaging me with a question later if you think of something later in the day. Like, you've all got my email address, I believe. Ask us questions, you know, like I want to help you get this right. It's a difficult one to get your head around, but once you've got the hang of it and you know what you should be eating and throughout the full day, like where you should be getting your calories from, it just helps. Notice if you would add up all the maximum calories mined on the PowerPoint slide there. So we've got 1,000, 1,320, 1,000, what was it, 680, right? So it's only 1,700 calories that mined. This is probably under the calories that you would want if you were a guy. You know, you're going to need a little bit more than that. Or if you're like younger as well, like teenagers need a lot more calories as well, and because they're so active.
True.
So 1,700 calories. I would recommend that if you're just doing so much exercise, like very little really, like a couple of walks, or maybe a walk every day or something like that. Not running, not gymming it, not playing sport. If you do start to do that, then you need to obviously up those 3 areas. But have a little look, see what it. Oh, there Gary said, yeah, trays are pretty much the same. So it's looking for alternatives and looking for things that you can replace certain food items with. It doesn't mean you have to completely change that meal.
Yeah, you can get like chicken sausages and stuff. I've seen, so I've never had them.
Yeah, and do you know what? They're good.
I have to try them.
I've had and do you know what you'll notice with the chicken sausages? You can put them on a bacon tray.
Yeah.
You can put no foil in that bacon tray, and there'll be no fat comes out of it. So you can literally take the sausages off, and the tray looks like it could just go back in the cupboard. That's
crazy.
It doesn't even need washing. There's no oil comes out of it. There's no grease. They are good. They're tasty.
I'm gonna get them.
I might have to invest in some of these.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just give you an idea anyway of macros, what we need each day, and roughly the breakdown of it. So have a little look at it. If you get stuck and you want some help with that later, because there's a lot of calculations involved as well once you start looking into it.
Yeah.
Let me know. Just come back and ask us. You know, we've got this course running for another 3 weeks. Get enrolled on the course. So if you've got any questions, treat it like you would in a classroom and send us a message, and I'll reply to everybody at some point of the things that they need help with. So please use my knowledge, information, and I'll try and help you keep on track. What did Charlotte put there? Oh, chicken sausages are so nice. I think they are much tastier than pork. Do you know what? I think because you kind see all the oil coming out and the grease, like I think you enjoy it better that way. You know,
probably.
Bad. And they put a lot of nice flavourings in there, so they're really tasty. So we move on to slide 7.
Got it, yeah.
So this is looking at food labels, all right? So on there, I've put a few things that you would find on a food label. If you can think of anything else, put it in the chat. So if you know there's something else on a food label that isn't listed on there, put it in the chat. So on every item of food, you should have the ingredients. And the ingredients are normally, they're listed top to bottom with what is the highest percentage in that particular meal. So if you had fresh orange juice, right, but it wasn't like totally fresh, one of the top ones would probably still be orange, and then you might get like different sugars underneath and things like that, and water might be in there. But it's normally listed top to bottom of, you know, what's in there. In fact, I'll go and grab something out the cupboard. 2 seconds.
Right on.
Be easy if I grab something.
Yeah. So let's see what she gets, guys. Who has any guesses what she's gonna bring? Get your guesses in. I'm gonna say some tin stuff, maybe some beans, maybe who knows. See what she's gonna come back with. I agree about the chicken sausages, by the way, Charlotte. Like, I'm a big fan, and peanut butter as well, Gary. I eat peanut butter like no one's business. I love that. So yeah, let's have a look.
Right, so when we covered, I thought, can I really grab the beans? Can I really grab the spaghetti? tuna. It's all a bit bland and all soft. And this salsa.
Oh, salsa. Nice.
I didn't even know that was in my cupboard. It was in. I might have to try it there. So the ingredients is. So this is 54% of tomato puree. So there's a lot of tomato puree in there. So 54% is tomato puree. There's 19% tomatoes. So that there takes up 75%, right? So 75% is tomato puree and tomatoes. So they're listed right at the top of the ingredients list. We've then got it says onion and green pepper, 10%. So that would take you up to 85. Then we've got, I always say jalapenos, 2%. And then it's a mix of vinegar, salt, sugar, garlic, coriander leaf and chili powder. Not too bad, actually, when I look at what's in there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There you go. So it's all listed though, right? So the percentages start off high and then it gets down where you might just have a sprinkle of salt, you know, bit. So that's how ingredients are listed on there. Oh. So if you want to quickly see what's in there and you look and see what's in the ingredients, look and see what's at the top listed, like a high percent. Oh wait, now we've forgotten here.
So
go on, you read about.
Just while you were away, we were trying to have a little guess what you'd bring back, and me and Gary thought you'd bring beans, but we were both wrong. So.
I nearly did. I've got beans in the cupboard. Lynn said, yeah. I need some Doritos. I know. You're right. This might have to stay in the cupboard for another time, Lynn. So the ingredients, I think I've covered that all right. Energy, on your food labels, it will tell you your overall calories or kilojoules that is in there, and it should give you energy for a portion and energy for 100 grams. Now, the 100 grams is by law, that needs to be in there.
Yeah.
But per portion doesn't have to be on the food labels. Wow. So per 100 grams has to go on there though. So you should always be able to look at a 100 gram column and see what energy, and then it's kind of up to you to see like what's in there. So this here is a 300 gram tub of salsa. I might just eat it out the jar. Really
why not?
Yeah. What was I going to say? Where's the? Oh yeah. So it's got on per 100 grams on here, and it's got the energy per 100 grams, 37 calories. So in the whole jar. When I say it was 300, so there's only it's just over 100 calories for all of that. So it's not bad really.
No, it's not bad at all, is it actually?
No, I think it's because it's mainly tomatoes and there's not a lot in tomatoes. It'll be the oil that's put that up. You know, when you think about it, even though it's a little bit of oil, it's probably put the fat content up.
Yeah.
But there's no artificial colours, flavourings or preservatives in here, and it's suitable for vegetarians, believe it or not. But yeah, it definitely has it on per 100 grams, and it should be on all of your levels, but it hasn't got on there per portion, so it's kind of leaving it up to the person eating it to put the portion in. So other things that should be on there, fat, and what fat grams are saturated fat, so that should be on your food label, and it'll always be per 100 grams. You might not get per portion unless it's a bar of something, like, you know, if it was like a cereal bar.
Yeah.
Or something where it's an individual piece, like then it would be on there. Carbohydrates, you need the overall carbs, and you need your sugary carbs, so that'll be on there. How much fibre, if it's something that's got fibre in, that will be listed. If there's no fibre in it, it probably won't be on there. They'll just leave it off. Salt will be on there, or it might be down as sodium. If it's sodium, there's a little calculation we need to do to work that one out.
Okay.
It's 3 times to get the salt value, sodium.
Right. Okay.
So sometimes they put sodium in and it looks quite low, but when you work it out, it can bring the grams up.
So it's a little bit trickery.
Yeah, grams per pack. So you should have on, you know, when I said this is 300,
yep,
that should be on there as well, so you know what your overall grams are.
For sure.
And the traffic light system. It's not on all of them, but it's on there. It's just not highlighted. So I found this in my recycle.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dan went shopping yesterday, and Dan loves these.
Oh, they look delicious, to be fair.
It must have been on special. I think that's what it is. I think it's been on special.
Maple syrup.
Dan likes his cereal bars. So on here, where is it? Can you see? That there should be red, amber, and green. Yeah, can you see that?
I can see
it's
that.
All one colour. I don't know, it's back to front on there, isn't it? But it's all one colour. Or is it not? It'll be the right way around, is it? It's just me.
No, you're right.
So it's all one colour. So there's nothing indicating on there whether it's high, medium, or low in any of those. All right. So you would pick that up, and you wouldn't even know if it was okay in any of those areas. You'd just be thinking, well, must be all right. There's no red. Nothing jumps out.
Pretty much.
That's when you have to look at it. Did you think of any other things that you might find on a food label, or have I covered everything?
I mean, nothing's jumping out to me.
No, I think I've covered quite a bit.
Yeah.
You might get cooking instructions. So if it's something that might need heating up, or
that's a good one.
Way,
yeah.
On some things, they'll put on. What was I going to say? They will have portion sizes on, but they'll also put down like a meal idea. So do you know if it was like a chicken soup or something like that? Sometimes they'll put on about putting it in a pie or doing something different with it. So they're trying to give you ideas. So you would probably buy that product a little bit more and use it differently rather than just have it as a tin of soup. So have a little look, because some of the recipes on these things, I've tried them and they're really nice. Again, just gives you more ideas of what you could get up to when you're cooking. Sometimes it might have the vegetarian sign on, so it might indicate if it's suitable for veggies. It might have things like low sugar, low salt, low fat. It should have on as well any allergies. So if somebody
looking at that now on the nuts.
Yeah, yours will have nuts on.
Yeah.
It's a box of nuts, Daniel.
Allergy advice. Yeah.
Allergy advice on cashew nuts, yes. May contain nuts.
It says for allergens, see ingredients in bold, packed on the same equipment as products that contain other tree nuts, milk, soy, wheat, sesame seed, sulfites.
Yeah, they've got to put that in. They've got to put that information in. If some things are made in the same factory, and contamination can happen.
Yeah.
So we'll quickly move on to the next one. Just looking at the time now. I want to try and get going because I've got a little bit.
Do you want to know something interesting as well about what you said?
What?
It's that obviously I follow like UFC and stuff quite like closely, and there's been times when fighters have been tested positive for like performance enhancing drugs. And what they found out is, like, sometimes it was just legit, but sometimes it came back down to a tainted supplement. So what they've done is they've took some creatine, right, or something, and because
it's been in there and they've not known about it.
Because the vats that they mix it in, it's been the same. Like, they haven't cleaned out the vats properly. So when they've put the creatine in one of the vats, obviously with it not being cleaned out properly, it's took some of that PED and it's gone into the mixture, and then they've ended up testing positive for that supplement when it shouldn't have anything in. But they've managed to become like they said, okay, they found out that it was a tainted supplement, so they managed to like keep, like, they took the suspension off. But it's pretty crazy that can happen, you know.
Well, when I was at Sunderland with the under 18s, teaching those lads, I think I took in a couple of protein bars for them to try.
Yeah.
And one of them went, I'm going to have to take it down to and I don't know who they took it to, but they needed somebody to look at it and make sure that there wasn't anything in this protein bar that they weren't like to have in the diet, because if they got tested at the game, they could be suspended. That's how strict it is. And I was like, well, what are you looking for? And they were like, well, they'll just know. Like, he was like, it could be hidden.
Yeah.
So I just still didn't even ask what it was, but there's obviously something that gets put into certain foods that is seen as an enhancing
Yeah,
like drug, really.
it's pretty
So
crazy.
I've put the traffic light system on. I know we've done this in one of the other sessions, but I know some of you haven't covered this at all. So quickly run through what the traffic light system is and how we'd use it. So we've got the red, the amber, and the green. So the red indicates that something is high in something. Like, so it could be high in sugar, high in fat, high in salt, saturated fat. And that 10 milligrams would make it high. So this is not per portion. This is always per 100 grams. The medium. So if it's in the red, try not to eat it all the time. Like, it's all right, it's a treat, but try not to have it as being the main part of your diet.
Yeah.
If it's in the medium, so if it's amber, it's a bit like that jacket potato scenario when I said about as long as what you eat it with is balanced. If something's in the amber, as long as you've got a lot of stuff in the green to go with it, that isn't going to be a bad meal overall. If it's amber and red all the way, then yeah, careful, because that's why you will get extra calories, and there's not enough. Like, I don't think you'll get a lot of nutrition when it's high up like that as well. All your nutrition, all your foods that are high in your vitamins and your minerals tend to be in the green zone. So think of it that way. The greener you are, the more healthier your body's going to be, and it'll function better as well. So you've got the medium, and then your green. Obviously, eat whatever you like in the green, because the calories is probably going to be quite low as well. So that's roughly a quick snap of what you need to look for on there. Your overall sugar for the day. So it says anything over 15 grams is high. In a full day, the amount of sugar that you want to try and keep under is between 60 and 70 grams. All right, so you don't want to be going over 70 grams of sugar every single day. All right, so you want to try and look at that. And there's a lot of things have sugar in that you probably wouldn't realise as well. So it might be worth just scanning on your food labels, and maybe one day just write down all of the grams of sugar that you eat. Just try and keep a tab of it, and it sharpens up. Especially if you've got a sweet tooth, if you like a bit of cake or some biscuits, something like that.
Guilty,
like the sugar does mount up.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Guilty. So 60, 70 grams of sugar per day. For salt, because we've looked at fat before, for salt, no more than 6 to 7 grams. Now that is about 1.5 teaspoons, so it's not a lot, and I don't think you need to add it to your food. Have a little look what's in your food. One of the other sessions we looked at cereal. Was it healthy? What was it again? Was it fruit and nut? I think it was.
Might have been.
I think the fruit and nut. It was per 100 grams. It was a gram of salt. So, and I think I said I would probably have about 200 grams just because of the size of it in the bowl. Yeah. So I would have hit 2 grams of salt in a cereal that I didn't even think had salt in it.
It's pretty crazy, that, isn't it? Yeah.
It's in there. It adds flavour. All these things add flavour into your food. So if it's low in one, it tends to be high in another. It's just getting that balance right.
Yeah. Definitely. It's a good point, because obviously, like, there's a lot of food have stuff like that added or hidden, like you were talking. So things like high fructose corn syrup and a lot of processed food. They put that into like more like freezer food, like turkey dinosaurs and like any kind of frozen things like that. They add that to it, and I think it's.
Do you like turkey dinosaurs, Daniel?
Literally the first thing that came to my head, so I don't know where that came from, but like I just, but yeah, I think that's to make it taste sweeter and also to make it like last longer as well, so it's not gonna like.
Yeah, it's to preserve it. If you look at these, even the ready-made meals that are healthy, they've got like a 5-day shelf life on them. Look, have a little look next time you're in the supermarket, or even have a look at some items you might have in your freezer. Have a look at what date is on some of the ready-made meals, or the items that you could, like onion rings, or I don't know. Have a little look. Just, it's amazing how long things can stay. I just think what's in there, you got to look what's in it, haven't you?
They didn't they do like they've done that with a couple of things from McDonald's before, where they've had like a burger or something, and they've put it, like, they've just seen what it changes like over time, and like it just doesn't it just stays the same. It's exactly the same for like years. So I mean, it's worrying that like just never changes, like in consistency or shape.
Well, I don't know if McDonald's still do them, but they used to do like a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
Now lettuce leaves, no matter how crunchy they are, give it a week, and I just think,
yeah,
there's no way
I know.
that is as healthy as people think it is.
Wait, it's something interesting as well, because
there must be something on every lettuce leaf to preserve it.
Well, we talked about in a different session, didn't we? How like the Caesar salad's actually more than if you had like a little burger. It's like more calories than if like so.
Yeah, it's just the sauce is ridiculously high in calories. Yeah, but there's got to be other stuff in there as well.
Definitely.
What did Gary say? I think anything that lasts more than 2 days and it's not frozen can't be good for you.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Some fruit takes a little bit of time to ripen.
True, that's true.
Like avocados and things like that. Like sometimes you need to give them a few days. Sometimes I'm like, I want to have my avocado. I can't have it.
You like think I bought this a week ago and it's still not ripe. You're like, come on.
Well, Dan come in with these. He got some bananas about 3 weeks back. We've had to chuck them out. They were green. They never ripened.
Let me tell you, Mel, right? I've had bananas before where I bought them in the green, and like I've stored them in the same place I would normally store them, and they turn brown, and they don't even turn yellow, and it's like they go from green to brown, and I'm like, what the hell? It's like they've gone.
Oh no, these they look plastic. They were still green.
Really? Oh my goodness.
But at that point, like I thought, like they're done. These I need to go the journey.
Also, I'm not sure. But a lot of even vegetables in fruit, sometimes they put like something in it to make them like more like bright and more colorful, and then so they wouldn't usually look like that, you know.
I think it's just to make us buy them and look more pleasing for our posts, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm laughing though, Gary, because I don't think anything lasts more than 2 days in my fridge. I have such an appetite.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to have a quick look at a couple of different cereal bars now. So we'll go to slide 9 and then slide 10 after that. So the Eat Natural cereal bars, obviously the Eat Natural brand, it's seen as being quite healthy. And I guess if you're out on a long walk or you were doing an ultramarathon or something where you need this type of stuff, then great, but not as just a snack. So I've put the chart underneath just so you can have a quick glance at it, and I've got the nutritional information down the side there as well. So per bar, there's 238 calories. Yeah, can you all see that? But what we need to do in order to use the traffic light system, we need to go down as a per 100 gram. All right, so that's halfway down the nutritional information bit. So this does give per bar, which is useful, especially if you're working out your grams per day. So you've got that information there, you don't have to try and work it out. But in order to use the traffic light system, we have to use the per 100 gram section on this. So if we look for sugars, first of all, so sugars is always under carbohydrates. So can you see how many grams sugars are on this? And you can see it. So if you go down the bottom bit, under carbohydrate, which is 49.7, there's actually 31.2 grams of sugar per 100 grams. Now 15 is high. All right, so 15 is mega high. This is double that, right? This is double the high value. All right. So you've got sugar really, really high. For overall fat, 26.7. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just underneath energy, 26.7. So that would be red. So we've got 2 reds so far. Saturated fat, so that's just underneath fat, 18.8. So anything over 5 is high. Now, the reason that I think that'll be high is it'll have a lot of nuts in there.
Yeah.
And it's coated in yogurt, I believe. So there'll be like a little bit of fat from there as well. Again, fine if you're going to burn it off, just not good if you're sitting around. and think this is a healthy option. For salt, 0.06, all right, so it's quite low. Well, actually, no, it's a medium, isn't it? No, 0.06, it is green. I was thinking if it was 0.6,
no, yeah.
medium.
0.0.
0.06, it's green, all right. So you can see it's got 3 reds, big reds as well, and really smash the red area.
Yeah.
And 1 green, the salt, all right. So that's what that one looks like. But again, you wouldn't pick that up and think that it would be 3 reds, and I bet there's nothing on that box that comes out of indicating that you've got 3 reds, because people wouldn't buy it.
True.
People would not buy that product if they thought it was red. They'd think about it.
I used to eat those thinking I was healthy, right? And I used to not even like it. And I used to think this tastes horrible, but at least it's healthy. And then once I actually knew how many calories were in it, and not just how many calories, but like how much it's ticking the boxes on the reds.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, you know what? Like, why did I ever bother? Because it was like forcing myself to eat it. And
my God,
you know what I mean? So yeah,
forcing down thing, you're giving yourself a bit of goodness.
It's as you say, it says eat natural, so you literally look at it and think, oh,
yeah,
it's going to
the
be
brand.
healthy. You know what I mean?
Got, yeah.
And it sucks, man.
A lot of things, the way they're marketed, the way that people sell them, as long as they're not breaking any rules, because it probably is natural, like nuts are natural, oats are natural, apricots, yeah. There is a lot of natural stuff in there. It doesn't mean it's low in calories though, and low in all of these bits.
Exactly.
But again, it's one of them, like if you were out and about and active, it isn't a bad option really, because you're going to burn it off.
If you're hiking or something, right? Like I could imagine in that kind of scenario. But
like, you know, when you want about the 3 peaks and stuff like that, like this is the type of stuff that you need to take with you. It's light, it's easy to fit in your bag. It's going to give you the boost that you need when you need it as well.
Yeah, when we were doing the 3 peaks, I told you before, but like literally like on top of second peak, like I had some dried mangoes, and literally like nothing had ever tasted as nice. I don't think ever. It just tasted so much nicer than it usually did, and I don't know why, but it was
probably your body craving energy, so it's happy to have whatever it can get its hands on. It's like I'm a Celebrity, isn't it? You know, the jungle.
Yeah.
Like how ridiculous do they go over a crisp? Or
I know. Yeah.
Like a sniff of so
yeah.
It's because your body's craving like the salt, the sugar, the whatever it is, probably everything in that.
Yeah.
Instance. Yes, Lynn, I will send this over to you. I'll do it straight away once the session's over. No problem. Right, the next one I want to look at is on the next slide. So it's another same meal bar again. What has Gary said? Fat and red, sugar, yeah. So yeah, you're well done, Gary. You got all them right. So see if we can get the next one. So, yeah, all red. Right, so this one here, right, so we're looking at again the sugar, the fat, the saturated fat and the salt. So notice on this food label, on this nutritional value, you've got 2 columns. The other one was one underneath the other. This one's set out in 2 columns, but it should always have the 100-gram column, and that's again what we need to look at when we're looking at this table to help us make decisions. So sugar. So underneath carbohydrate again, you can see of which are sugars, and it's 33 grams of sugar. So again, more than double the red, and that's probably the bit in the middle, you know, the jam bit. If you think about simple sugars, it's a lot of sugar in there. It says at the top, no corn syrup. I thought it said corn syrup there. Right? So it's probably just got squashed up jam in the middle, but the sugar in there is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it really is.
So the sugar, more than double. All right, the fat. So overall fat, 8.3. All right, so that would go in the middle there. So you've got 1 red and 1 amber in this case. Saturated fat, if you look down, so saturated is always underneath fat. 3 grams, so it's another amber. So you've got 1 red and 2 ambers. And the salt is 0.2. So it's still in the green. Oh no, sorry, wrong one, 0.5. I looked at the wrong column there, 0.5. 5, so it's going to be another amber. So we've got 1 red and 3 amber for that cereal bar. So it's not as high as the other one, but it's still one, and you've got to keep an eye on that.
Definitely.
Per bar is 130 calories. The other one was it 230? So the other one's a lot more calories as well, more than double. But neither are healthy. If you want to do like your own like cereal bar, make your own up, put your own stuff in. You know exactly what's in there then.
You made and brought in protein bars, like little protein balls, I think, one time, and they were unreal. And I mean, that's like quite similar
Thank
to
you.
right? It's quite similar to a cereal bar, and probably much healthier and probably and more delicious. You know.
It just hasn't got the same level of sugar in there. It was more the sugar. It still would have had fat in, because I normally put like peanut butter and things like that in, but the sugar would have been lower.
Delicious.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks very much.
No problem.
So what I'll quickly go over, because I've got one more slide, and I think we'll try and do this in about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll move on to the fitness video. I always run over with these sessions. I just love talking to everybody. I'm a right little gasser.
I can't stop yapping as well, so it's my fault too.
We're right little chatty boxes, aren't we? It's nice to have some interaction though. It's all good.
True that.
Right, so we've got a food pyramid next, and I think I've already gone over this in another session again, but this is new to some people, so we will go back to it because it's quite important. So we've already spoke about your macros. Now this is actually broken down into those macros. So the bottom 2 is your carbs. So you can see the carbohydrates, fruit and veg is all carbohydrate. The dairy and the protein come under protein. And the very top is going to be your fats and your oils. All right, so you can see it's kind of broken down into your food groups already. But this tells you which bits you should be trying to get. So you don't want all of your carbs being bread, pasta and rice and potato. You want to get your veg in there. In fact, I would be looking at the bottom bit of the pyramid last and thinking about what else I can get in my meals. And you can always add some rice, add some pasta, add some bread. It's easier to add your carbs at the bottom than base your meal around that. I think if you can decide what protein you've got in the house, so if you've got eggs, maybe an omelette or something, think about what then might go with that omelette. You could slice some potatoes up and have like I can't think what it's called, like a dauphinoise without the cream.
Oh, it's lovely that. That's so.
Yeah, or you could. I've like done that before and just roasted them so they've been like a thick crisp. Like,
do you know what it is?
You just gotta mix on with stuff.
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, and it's actually quite nice.
Or like make your like potato wedges tiny, so you just got these little tiny squares. And
you can make like little like almost like tater tots, but not like a healthy version. You just like make like little cubes of potato. I've done that before.
Just make things like just experiment with your veg and try not to have it as just veg. Try and think how else you can have it as a meal. So try and get your veg in and try and just get a couple of bits of fruit, even if that's just a handful of your grapes or something like that. Just try and get something in there that's got those vitamins and minerals that your body craves every single day. Protein, 2 to 3 servings. So if you try to get your protein in your meals every day, so 3 times a day, you're going to hit your protein value. If you don't have any protein at all for breakfast, don't have any for dinner. So if you just had 2 slices of toast with butter for breakfast, and then maybe for your dinner you had like a cheese sandwich. Actually, cheese would hit the protein a little bit. We think what else you could put in there. Jam sandwich. just a theory there.
What about peanut butter and jam sandwich?
It's just peanut butter's got carbs. Got a bit of protein there as well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But if you think if it was all carbs, like you're gonna then struggle to get your protein in during the day, so you need to try and plan where your protein's gonna go in.
True.
Eggs are actually a good source in the morning.
Yeah, I love eggs.
I always think if I have like a boiled egg.
Yeah.
Either I have it as a dippy, or I'll boil it and then I'll take the shell off and then I'll slice it in between 2 slices of toast.
Brilliant.
So there's different ways of doing it, or you could just have like a scrambled egg. It's just it fills me up differently. Like I feel a lot fuller till dinner time if I've had eggs.
And I think that there's about 6 to 7 grams of protein per egg. So
that's
so
get like a couple of those.
Lot, yeah.
And what you could do if you didn't want to get the calories, because the yolk is where the fat is. Obviously, the yolk's where all your goodness is as well. But if you didn't want to have too many yolks, what people do, and I'm not saying that you have to do it because you're all wasting food then, but you might have 2 full eggs with the yolks and you might add 2 egg whites. So you're upping your protein just by having that extra couple of bits of what, but the actual meal isn't any bigger. But do you know when I said about putting things into that MyFitnessPal, the app?
Yeah.
If you put it in there, you can kind of see if you're missing anything. So by adding a couple of egg whites might be a way of hitting your protein that day.
Good point, yeah.
If you want to try and be really strict with it, obviously I wouldn't become obsessed with it, but
it's what you said as well. Like,
just it's a good way to look at it.
People even do. It might not be the most tasty. I mean, I wouldn't mind because I like it, but scoops of peanut butter. Someone will do like two or three spoonfuls of peanut butter, and that would give them that. You know what I mean? There you go. So,
I used to have a little bit of the job.
Yeah, I do it sometimes, and you're getting that protein.
Instead of a biscuit, if I was having a cup of tea, I'd be like, having a biscuit, and I would like nibble it because I just love peanut butter.
Same, so do I. And I think for vegetarians, that's like an ultimate key to protein because it's full of protein and it's healthy as well, and it's a vegetarian meal, I guess. So
I would try and get the better quality ones though, because there's a lot of peanut butter out there where there's a lot of like it might be only like 55-60%.
Right,
It's good, but if you get the I can't remember, but I think like the whole nut one or something, or the whole
there's organic ones.
I can't remember the brand. Yeah, there's a lot where if you look at the content of nuts and that in there, it'd be really, really high, like over 90%.
Yeah.
So try and get a better quality one.
And I'm all about the crunchy peanut butter, not the
you can get the crunchy one as well and the smooth. Oils, it's in there, but you don't want to be putting too much in.
Yeah.
Great on salads, great if you want to just put a bit of flavour in there. I tend to put stuff like, do you know, if I'm doing stir fry, I'll throw it in after. So it's I'll just put the oil in like after. Seasons it that way.
Definitely.
If you cook it in the oil, you risk and changing its consistency. Whereas if you fry everything off, that you want to put in, and then the last thing you do is just oil and then dish it.
Yeah,
it's less likely to change. And you know what, I think it goes further because it doesn't evaporate.
Yeah.
You don't have to like overdo it on the oil then.
For sure.
Dairy, so we're looking at the little portions of cheese that you get.
Yeah.
That would be classed as a portion of dairy. A glass of milk, so if you had cereal in the morning, you would be able to tick that off. A little pot of yogurt could be a dairy. Trying to think of anything else. I would be putting full fat cream in there. I'd be sticking that at the top of the table.
I need to
your carbs is easy at the bottom as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, full fat cream. I just think it's reminding me when I make burritos, I need to ease off on the sour cream because I always put like a bit of cream fraiche in it, and it's so nice, but it's like probably it's not the most healthy.
There's loads of alternatives for that,
Really?
You could even put like, what's it called again? Oh God, my brain. Is it fromage frais or something like that?
Okay, yeah. Definitely.
Something like there's loads of alternatives to sour cream.
Right, I'll look out for that.
Then, if it's all mixed in with the salsa is not too bad. But if you mix it in with different things, like even if you made salsa, but if I made my own version of this, I bet it's tasty and I bet it's healthier. If I did it from scratch myself,
probably will be.
Because there will be stuff in here. I might have read it before. There isn't, but I just think I could still make it healthier myself. I would change maybe how much puree I went in.
For sure, yeah.
Because tomato puree, 54%, that'll have a little bit of sugar in, I would think, as well.
Yeah. I've been loving the passata lately as well because it kind of
Oh yes.
It sticks to the rice, so it's like nice and thick if you're making it with rice. Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've never thought about putting passata in a rice dish.
Yeah, with tomato. Like, so I usually do it when I'm doing like
that'd be good.
burritos. Yeah, like I'll get the like the chicken kind of seasoning or whatever. I'll cook the meat in that. Then I'll have like I'll buy some Mexican rice or something, and then I'll mix that in with some passata in it. It's nice and thick. I used to do it with tin tomatoes, which is still good. But
do you use packet rice or do you actually cook the rice in the sauce?
it depends how lazy I am. Sometimes I've got a rice machine, so if I'm feeling not like,
oh, you're showing off now, mate.
sometimes I'll do that, but if I can't be bothered, I'll just use packet rice. So yeah, but
are them rice machines any good, Daniel? Do they?
Yeah, rice cookers are really good. Yeah, they're awesome because it's hard to get used to it, but once you've mastered it, it's fine. You're supposed to have it so like you just put the rice in, and then you put it up to like where it's up to your knuckle in water, so it looks kind of soaked in water, but then it's going to soak up the water. About 20-30 minutes. One thing that I learned was that it's better to have rice that's a little bit soft than a little bit too hard, because if it's a little bit too hard, it's just awful. It tastes horrible. But if it's a little bit on the softer side, it's not the best, but it's definitely better than if it was too tough. But once you mastered the balance, it's really nice, yeah. And it's cheaper, obviously, because you just buy a big, huge tub of rice and then just put it in your rice cooker, and it's delicious. It's as good as it is in any Asian restaurant.
Oh, cool.
So yeah.
No, I've often thought about, because I do like to eat quite a bit of rice dishes. As you can see on my cooking channel at the minute, I've been doing some rice dishes.
Well, you can actually get as well. So one of my friends had she had a microwavable rice cooker, and it was basically like it was like a tub, and then it had like a lid on it with like vents inside of it, and you'd fill that up with water, and it would kind of the water would like evaporate, and it would cook it. Like it would mimic the effect of a rice cooker. So that was pretty decent actually as well. But yeah, rice cookers are definitely good.
No, I think if you do eat a lot of rice, I think it's worth investing in something like that.
Definitely, yeah. And I mean, especially if you want to save on costs, man. If you look at most Asian families and Indian families, and like South Asian families, what they do is they'll buy usually like a massive thing of rice, like a huge thing of rice, and that'll last them forever. That could last them like the whole year, and then they'll just put it in the rice cooker, and they've got delicious rice every time,
Yeah. Do you put other stuff in with the rice, or is it just
not in the rice
plain
cooker?
Rice?
Yeah,
just plain rice in the rice cooker.
You can do, but I never usually trust it. So when I do, if I'm going to mix anything with the rice, I'll usually do it afterwards.
Right. Okay.
But yeah, I think you can do soup and stuff in it. Like there's instructions to do soup on it if you wanted to.
Right.
But I've never done that. I've only cooked rice in it.
Hey, well, there you go. I'll pick up something new today. So have we got anything more in the chat before we move on to Rob's fitness video? Oh, Lynn, tried to get passata at Asda yesterday, but all the cheap ones have gone. Yeah, you find that at the minute. You've got your
I wanted
to be back to normal soon enough, Lynn. I'm sure.
I wanted to cook chili con carne tonight, and I'm still looking for kidney beans because I couldn't find any yesterday. So I'm gonna hopefully find some today. But yeah.
I've got a tin of my cupboard.
Yeah, I'm definitely jealous.
Oh, and Lynn said you can steam veggies in the rice cooker as well.
There you go. So yeah, a good.
Oh, you've got one. Oh, Lynn, I'm jealous. You and Daniel have both got a rice cooker. Yeah, it's good when you haven't got an oven, and I think I mentioned this when I was on the phone to you last week sometime. It's amazing what other devices you can make do. I had this electric wok that I would plug in, and I boiled eggs in it.
There you go.
It was quicker to boil an egg in my wok than put some water, because the heat. Then I had like a little mini oven, and it was easy to do it in the wok than heat it up on the mini oven. Yeah, so
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense.
There you go. And the slow cooker got battered like every. It was easier for me to set that away on the morning, let it cook all day, and I'd come in and it'd be done. Like
there's nothing better than braised steak in a which has been slow cooked, like a stew or something. The smell. I know. So good. It's honestly the best.
Slow cooker. I need to check the plug on it, because the plug's like come away.
Yeah.
And I think I've done it right, but I'm a bit worried to leave it. Saying that, I'm not leaving the house at the minute, so.
Yeah.
I think I need a better screw that goes in the middle bit, because it's just the plug separating. But it's got me thinking I need to get that back out the cupboard and get a meal in it of some sort.
And you can smell it like 6 hours of the day. It's just the smell's getting richer and richer, and you just can't wait until you get
I'll be going over, take the lid off and have a little taste to see if it's done.
Well, I would do that. I'd like go over like random intervals of the day, just lift the lid up and just smell it, and I'd be like, oh, it's like the best.
Have a little steam as
well.
well.
Yeah, pretty much.
So what we're going to do now, obviously we've got a video from Rob, a little fitness video for you to have a go at.
Yes.
If you could complete the survey, the link is in the description, but Daniel, can you put it in the chat as well?
Can do, yeah.
It'll take you a minute to do, so please fill that out. It does help us. And yeah, give us some feedback as well. We'd like to hear how you found today's session.
Definitely.
Hopefully you found it interesting.
Yeah, I've had a really good time, and I've learned quite a bit of stuff as well.
If you could complete the survey, all about it in the description box.
Yeah, it's another reason I love doing these sessions, is like I'm always like learning stuff as well, like so it's awesome, you know. Something
different, isn't it? And do you know what? Food is something we have to eat, don't we? We have to eat to survive. But I've just put on there, please don't forget to complete the survey. Your feedback is important to us, and I will see you next week. 10 till 12 next week. So I don't know if Daniel wants to put a break screen on for 5 minutes or so.
Yes, I'm going to put a break screen on, and actually
then we'll get Rob's video.
The title of the survey hasn't changed, so I'm just going to go ahead and change that. So I'll do that when the break screen is on, and then I'll post it in. So guys, if you don't want to do the workout, if you could just hang around for 5 minutes while the break screen's on, and I'll get that survey sorted as well. I just need to change the title, and that's literally, it'll only take like two minutes or so. Shouldn't take.
But it's been a pleasure, everybody. It really has, and thank you very much for getting involved in the chat, because that helps us quite a bit, just to see who's engaging and who's taking the information. So we really do appreciate you getting involved with the chat. It just makes these streams more interactive. I know some people will be watching and not interacting, which is fine, but it's quite good that we get a little bit of interaction throughout. So thank you for that.
Yeah, many thanks,
and I hope
guys.
You do tune in next week.
And I look forward. I don't know if it'll be me or Haytham, but either way, I think it should be good fun.
I believe next week is looking at organs in the heart and things like that. So interesting.
And what do you know what we're cooking tomorrow, Mel? Like we're doing.
We are cooking, and I kind of got roped into this, but I'm quite looking forward to the smell of pie in my house. I'm going to make pie, and it was inspired by Paul's cooking. You know, when he was on the chat on, was it Monday? Paul was on.
Yeah.
He kind of put pie in everybody's head, so I'm going to make a pie with just a crust on the top, so it's not a full pie. So we've reduced the calories that way. So I'm going to make a vegetarian pie.
Awesome.
And then for dessert, it's like I would say like a flapjack type texture biscuit. So it's not really a biscuit, it's more like a flapjack, but it's got 3 ingredients and it's quite flat. Oh, it's good. It's got bananas in, oats in, and raisins. But if you didn't like raisins, you could put chocolate chips in, I suppose. If you want a little bit of dark chocolate chips in there, that would work as well. So it's just bananas, oats. That's it, 3 ingredients, and raisins. Done.
Perfect. It sounds awesome. I've just pasted the link to the survey there, guys. It's still the same link. If you'd already done it just before, it's still the same survey. I just literally needed to change the title just to avoid any confusion. But there it is. It's there as well. So if you could please do that for us, guys, that would be great. Yeah, I'm going to go to a break screen now for about 5 minutes, guys. And then we'll get the video started just to give you guys a chance to get some order and so on. So yeah, thank you very much. I think that cooking stream sounds awesome, and I'll definitely be tuning in. And it was awesome to hear that Charlotte had been making them, and that, you know, she's going to send over some of the pictures, and she bought baking powder so she can start to do the desserts as well. So I think that's so cool.
I need some pictures of you, Charlotte. I need to see
Yeah.
the rice dish that you've recreated. I don't want everybody making pie every week, mind. Yeah, it's a treat. Tomorrow's a treat, all right? It's not a weekly thing, this. But no, I'm
Okay.
sure we'll enjoy it. But yeah, thank you very much. And I
Thank
will
you, guys.
see you next time.
Cheers, guys. See you guys next time. And yeah, I say we're gonna go to a break screen for 5 minutes, and then we are gonna do a workout. It is Rob's interval workout today, and it is upper and lower body intervals. So get ready for that, guys. See you later. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy. Bye.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Got a brand new workout for you to do this week. I know that the last couple that we've done have been a little bit more sort of relaxed, a little bit more chilled out, if you can call them that. So we're going to look at some different intervals today, and they're going to just challenge your body a little bit differently each set. Yeah, so we've got some longer sets that are going to really test your endurance. We've got some shorter sets that are going to test sort of like your maximum output over a shorter amount of time as well. As we're doing that, your rest time in between is going to be coming down as well. So we're going to be challenging that recovery as well while we're on. Cool, so what we have got 3 rounds. Each round has got 3 different exercises in. We've got a cardio exercise, a lower body exercise, and an upper body exercise, yeah? Cool, so what we're going to do, each exercise for 3 times. We're going to do all your sets consecutively, so 3 sets of the same exercise in a row. Once we've done all 3 sets, move on to the next one, yeah? Cool. So we're just going to be pushing those muscles a little bit harder than you would be if you were just saying take one exercise, do a squat, and then move on to an upper body exercise. Yeah, your legs are then getting a rest. We're going to be staying on them, making sure that they're working a few sets in a row and really target those muscles and tire them out, yeah? Right, cool. So, as we do before we get started, we'll jump in, we'll do a little bit of a warm-up, and then we'll just take a bit of time to look through all of our exercises. Okay, so like we do, we're going to try and make our warm-up specific to the session that we're doing. Yeah, so, for example, this point is warming your legs up if you're going to train your arms. So what we're going to do, because it's an upper and lower body session, we're going to just make sure that your blood's flowing, everything's moving, everything's loosened up a little bit, and then we'll jump into that first round once we've looked through our exercises. So like we do with all our warm-ups, make sure you've got plenty of space, plenty of room around you, be aware of your surroundings, and then we're just going to get those arms moving, big circles. Same again, just work with what space you've got. If you can only do front raises, if you can only do side raises, just get those arms moving, some big circles. We're going to bring your arms across, open them up, really open up that chest. There we go, pull those shoulders back. There we go, even alternate which arm comes across the top. There we go, we're going to stay in that position, just throw some twists in side to side. So you're trying to keep your hips square facing forward, rather than twisting with you as you come round, yeah? Just twisting at the waist, keep your feet planted. There we go, just loosen up that lower back. And we're going to go into some heel kicks, just dropping across. So you're trying to bring your heel across to the opposite side, kick yourself in the bum. There we go, just getting those knees working, ankles working. There we go, now we're going to throw a squat in if you can. Get that chest up. Arms out in front for balance if you need to. Just get them legs moving. A couple more. There we go, a little bit of a soft bend in your knees. Push your hips back over and reach up. So we're getting that pull down the back of your legs and reaching up above your head. Stretch that back off and those abs as well. And then just make sure that heart rate's nice and elevated. Hit some star jumps. We love a star jump. There we go, heart rate's coming up nicely. I reckon that'll about do our warm up. Let's say get yourself a drink ready for the first round. In the meantime, I'm just going to talk you through all the exercises that we're going to be doing. As always, take time to just either really focus on sort of like some of the teaching points, or even give them a go. You know, while I'm running through them, give them a try out, and when you hit them in your working set, you've already had a little bit of a practice, yeah? Cool, right, let's get a look through these exercises. Okay, so the first exercise we're going to look at, we're going to be just jogging on the spot. It's one that we've done before. It's a good one for bringing that heart rate up. Just get those arms moving as well. So we're going to start every round that we do, we're going to be starting off with our cardio exercise. So just be on the spot, knees up as high as you can. Like I say, remember it's just going to be as hard as you make it, yeah? From there, we're going to move on to our first upper body exercise. Come into walkouts, so palms flat on the floor. Legs as straight as you can get them. and we're walking out into a plank position and coming back out here. Make sure you don't come out so far that your hips are wanting to drop. Keep that strain off your lower back. Just take your time. Yeah, so we're always working for time. We're not rushing to get 20 reps in. It's just what you make of it, yeah? From there, onto our first lower body exercise, we're going to go lateral lunges, side to side, make sure you've got plenty of space. Same again, one that we've done before. Just alternating from side to side with each one, and then driving back to that starting position. Yeah, so that's our first round. Second round, 3 new exercises. We're going to start off with cardio again. We're going to be mountain climbers. So it's nice and quick, on your toes, in that plank position. Same again, we're trying to get that heart rate back up after we've had a rest. Yeah. Any problems with that, slow them down. Just take your time. Yeah. From there, we're going to come into a press up variation. We're going to throw a little bit of a pike in there as well. So what we're doing, we're driving your hips straight up towards the ceiling. So as you come up, normal press, get your hands where they feel strongest. Push, hips up, back down to start. Yeah. Drive all the way up, nice and explosive. Bring them shoulders in a little bit as well. Any issues with those, we can always go regular plank, press up, or we can go with a box press up as well. Shorten that lever length and make things a little bit more manageable. Cool, finishing up our second round is going to be a jump squat. Getting down nice and low, just trying to get it up off the floor. Not trying to get so high that we're coming down causing a lot of impact. We want to keep those heels down as well. There we go, same again. The issue is just going into a regular squat. Come down as low as is comfortable. Second round done. So our third round and our last one, going to start off with burpees. It's been a while. So just to refresh, we're down, out, in, and up. Same again, just be aware of anything above your head. Down, out, in, and a little jump. Yeah. Our lower body one, we're going to go with a squat straight into a high knee. So squat, drive that knee up, and across if you can, yeah? Just come straight up if you need to, but by bringing it up and across as well, just get those lower abs engaged as well, yeah? For our last exercise, bit of a tricky one, we're going to go with an alternating plank. So we're going to start in a plank on your elbows, and then we're going to alternate side to side. So we're going to start this side, come into centre, hold for a second, shuffle over onto the other side. So we're alternating from side plank, through to side plank, through a regular plank. Any issues with that, just hold regular plank. We can always come onto palms as well if that's more comfortable, and just do the same. Cool, so there's our 9 exercises for today. Let's get this first round done. Okay guys, so remember we're doing each exercise 3 times in a row before we move on to the next one. Each set getting a little bit shorter. Your rest time is going to be half as long as the set that you've just done. Yeah. So our 3 sets, 40 seconds on, rest 20, 30 seconds on, rest 15, 20 seconds on, rest for 10. That's our 3 sets, and we'll be moving on to that next exercise. Yeah. So remember, this round only 3 exercises. And we're just going to hit them as hard as we can, 3 sets in a row, and just push that endurance and recovery. So first one, 40 seconds. We're going to be just jogging on the spot. Let's get you moving. There we go. Just same again, plenty of space. Getting those knees up. So same again, your first set's going to be your longest. You're still just letting that heart rate come right up. Seconds. And again, as always, really thinking about that breathing. There we go, first set done. Remember, we're going to hit that another twice before we move on. To make the most, we've got 20 seconds to rest up. Quick breather, quick drink if you need one. We're going to go straight back in for another 30 seconds jogging on the spot. Let's go. Second set. Back at it. Same again, so with each set, we'll be getting a little bit more familiar with the exercise, be able to push that a little bit harder. Especially if we're getting that long one out of the way first as well. Nearly there. There we go, rest up, one more 20 seconds. So we're trying to get them knees a little bit higher if we can. That third set of each exercise is always shortest, so try and push the hardest there if you can. Last one, 20 seconds on the spot. Get those knees moving. Last one, so same again, push that a little bit harder. Last set of each exercise. 10 seconds. There we go, well done, running on the spot, done. So we're coming to walkouts. Make sure you've got plenty of space. A little bit of a bend in your knees. Come out into the walkout, into plank, and walk it back in. Yeah, then get a little bit of your pull down the back of your legs. And shoulders are obviously working as well. Keeping those knees relatively straight but not locked. So there we go, you don't have to rush through these. Take your time. Any trouble with them, come into hot hands. Yeah, just into a plank, tap them shoulders, and you're still going to get that shoulder joint movement. There we go, squeeze one more in. There we go, same again, rest up for 20 seconds. We get the longest rest after our first set. 2 more then to do. There we go, back at it. Arms down, walk it out. Make sure you've got plenty of tension on that core and not letting your hips come and just drop and transfer all that onto your lower back. And again, hot hands if we're struggling with that. However fast you can. Stick with those walkouts if you can manage. There we go, 2 down, 1 more then to do. 1 more exercise and this first round's done. Flying through it. And again, you'll feel it doesn't take much to get that heart rate up. You start stringing a few exercises together. Last one, a walkout. 20 seconds, remember, never compromise your form or your technique, but try and push that last set a little bit harder if you can. There we go, second exercise done. Finish up this first round with some lateral lunges, side to side. 3 sets. Get this longest one out of the way with some cross, press, and swap. So just come as fast, feels comfortable. Play around with the toes out to 45 degrees, pointing straight ahead. See what feels better for you, what feels more comfortable. And remember, we could always take some of that depth out as well. Just get used to transferring that weight side to side. There we go, we're getting it nice and low while we can. There we go, 2 to go, long set out of the way with. 2 more on legs. First round will be done. Same again, get your foot in and across. As always, nice deep breaths. We're using a lot of oxygen. We need to keep it coming in, moving around that body. So yeah, I feel like legs warming up now. There we go, rest up, 1 more, It'll be our shortest set. We'll get as many in as we can with good form. Then we'll have a breather, finish this first one up. Guys, last one. There we go. Okay, keep that chest up. Couple more. There we go, we've got a minute to rest up. First round done. Okay guys, so second round we're going to stick with the same format. All we're doing, changing up our 3 exercises. So we're going to lower mountain climbers, squat jumps and a pike press up as well, yeah? So obviously I'll be running through them when we get to them. 40 seconds with our mountain climbers to start off. Let's get in there. So we're in the plank, on those toes, back's nice and flat. Nice and quick, just get you moving again after that little break. So if you need to, just slow things down, take your time, and just get a feel for that movement more than anything. Once you've got it and you're feeling confident, work on speeding it up. Oh, last few seconds, driving those knees right forward. There we go, definitely pace to come up. Off your wrists while we're resting. Move them around a little bit. We've got 20 seconds again to rest up. 2 more sets of those. And there we go. If we need to, we can come off onto those elbows, leave those wrists alone. So we're back into climbers. Nice and quick. Remember to slow them down if we need to. If you get any trouble at all with your wrists, come down there. And if you can, just bring your knee up, even if you need to bring your bum a little bit higher to make some space. Yeah, we're just going to stick with those climbers. Always deep breaths when we're doing cardio. There we go, one more to do. Always deep breaths when we're doing anything, to be honest. And one more. Shortest one, push it a little bit faster if you can. Same again, just as fast as you can manage, or as slow as you need to be. Nearly there. There we go, well done. Up on the legs. We're going to just go squat jumps. So make sure you've got plenty of space above your head. Getting down. Driving, same again, a little bit of air time, not so much that we're coming down with a crash, causing loads of impact. Just try and get a bit of a rhythm going. By all means, get to the bottom, take a second, set yourself up for that next one. You're better off getting nice and low and driving from there, even if it takes longer, and just do a little hip burst at the top, nice and low if you can. Really bring them quads in. And those glutes as well, of course. Nearly there. There we go. So this might be one where you really start to feel the lack of rest and the effect of doing 3 sets in a row rather than moving on. So our quads are a big muscle. They're bringing up a lot of lactic acid at the minute. If your body's not used to clearing it out, that's why it's going to start to burn through these next couple. Same again, give it what you can. Feel them quads engaged. 10 seconds, remember take seconds, hit your balance if you need to. Keep them coming if you can. There we go, one more shorter set to come. Push it that little bit harder again if you can. Deep breaths in. There we go, 20 seconds to finish up. Keep that chest up, weights in your heels. Knees pointing out, we don't want them buckling towards each other. Last couple. There we go. Second one done. Third and last exercise of this round, pike press ups. Take your time. Lay yourself flat on every single one. Set yourself and press. Hips up towards ceiling. Legs nice and straight. So you're pushing up and back over. Bring the front of those shoulders into play as well. Even if you need a little breather after each one before you get back in there for that next rep. Nice and controlled on the way back down. You don't just want to flop. It's going to make your chest work. There we go, along one of them done. Two more. So I'm sure you feel those shoulders, chest working as well. Stabilise on the way back down. Nearly there. There we go, get set and press through. Like I was saying, if we need to, we can always come into a regular press up, a box press up, one on your knees. So whatever feels manageable but challenging. Stick one of those pikes if you can. Hips up. Feel those shoulders, them triceps working. One more of them. So right down the back of your arms, front of your shoulders. Try and keep that core nice and tight as well. Give your lower back plenty of support. Last one, finish the second round up. Nearly there, 20 seconds. As always, with good form, let's see how many we can get. Last one. There we go, arms done. Same again. Plenty of lactic acid building up because they're not getting a chance to recover. We're just hitting them over and over and over again. Grab a breather, we've got one more round to do. Okay guys, so we've got one left to finish us off. Same again, sticking with the same format, the same times, to change our 3 exercises round. So we're going to be burpees to start us off. Like always, a little bit of cardio, get us moving again after that break. Make sure you've got plenty of space, and then we're down, out, in, and up. Take your time, break it down while you're getting used to the movement. Once you've got it, try chucking a few together. Really bringing that heart rate up. If we need to, just little touch the floor and reach up and jump if we're having any problems with that jumping in and out. There we go, music to my ears. Long set of burpees done, out the way with. 2 more, a little bit shorter every time. Got 30 seconds to do, 1 set of 20, then head out the way with nice and early in this last one. There we go, we're down, out, in, and up. If you are jumping in and out, keep those abs engaged, keep all that strain off your lower back. You don't want to be out of there. Keep them nice and tight. Couple more. Last one. Well done, one more. One more set of burpees, finish them up. 2 more exercises and we're done for the day. Stay with me. Last set of burpees, 20 seconds. Get what we can. Last few seconds, couple more. There we go, burpees out the way with. Moving on to legs. We're going to be squat with a knee drive up and across. If you can, if not, straight up. If we can't get that, just go regular squats, yeah? We're going to be up, drive that knee across. Still using that big muscle group, heart rate's going to stay up. But just try and get a bit of a breather in after them burpees. Nice and low on your squat, or as low as you can, comfortably. There we go, rest up. Quick breather flying through this last round. Deep breaths. Definitely feeling that step up from last week. I miss stretching. There we go, so it's it. Knee up and across. That's it, really leading with that knee. Little bit of a twist across if you can. Just moving that lower back in your lower core. There we go, one more in to do. We're on that last exercise. Here we go, get that foundation, get your platform. 20 seconds, nice low squats. Into high knees, up and across. Last one, nice one. Gives us one more exercise to do. Get some deep breaths in before this one. It's a lot of tension, so we're going to be alternating planks. Into plank, you're going to come up this side, nice and controlled, hold for a second, come back to start, through onto the other side. You can either rotate and split your feet, you can stack your feet, whatever feels more natural. Just keep them hips up, cores engaged, especially as you're rotating round. Really going to feel those shoulders working. Keep that palm right under your shoulder. There we go, 2 to go. So because we're moving through so many different ranges there, we're hitting so many different muscle fibres in the shoulder. Rather than just a raise front or side, we're actually rotating, and we're going to recruit that shoulder joint a lot harder. So we've got 2 to go, deep breaths. 2 more. Remember, if you want to go elbows, you can. If you want to go palms, you can. Just make sure that tension's on your core. Same again, hand right under your shoulder. So we'll go with upper body and your shoulders working. See, that core's going to be working to stabilise as well. Nice, last one. 20 seconds. Make this last one count. As much tension on that abs as you can. Last one. Remember, go elbows if you need to come off your wrists. Just make sure your elbows underneath your shoulders for balance. Last one, nearly there. There we go. Oh, well done. So, nice to be a little bit more back to normal and bringing that pace up a little bit after the last couple of weeks. I'm sure you've probably felt the change as well yourself. I'm absolutely knackered, truth be told. I'd forgotten about those Pike Press Ups. Now I'm remembering why. Yeah, so nice to have them back as well. I'm hoping everyone really sort of can feel a little bit of a difference between the length in sets and sort of how they're challenging you, how you're asking your body to work, how sometimes you're asking it to go now, hard, quick, as fast as you can. Sometimes you're asking it to just pace itself a little bit more and last a little bit longer. It's important that we're doing both ends of the spectrum in our training. I hope everyone's safe, looking after themselves, staying well, and I hope everyone who's lucky enough to be on those order deliveries is enjoying them. I'm absolutely gutted because I live too far away to get brownies sent to me in the post. Enjoy. Like I say, I hope everyone's taking care, stay safe, and I'll see you next week.